Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day number 392 on our continuing coverage of the war in Ukraine, our daily updates, of course, building the community, growing, raising support, all of that. And for that, we thank you for being here tonight. Tonight, going to be quite an update. We're going to continue, actually, with the ramifications from the Xi and Putin meeting over the last couple of days in Moscow. Many things have happened today in the last 24 hours that we must pay attention to, and we're going to look at each of those specifically. I've got some video translated for you, and I do want to say thank you. So many comments came in on the majority, overwhelming majority said, please, the voiceovers make it so easy. I like to watch you when I'm driving or I'm at work and I'm listening, and if there's not a voiceover, I can't read the translation. So, folks, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the voiceovers as much as possible. And, of course, we'll even be doing those tonight. So, you guys know that over the last couple of days, Xi, Putin doing their big meetings, Japan Prime Minister came and visited Kyiv. We know also, I remind you clearly that I told you this was going to be a big deal, and that was about Putin or his double, whoever you want to say, in Mariupol. The image is what we're paying attention to. Putin was in Mariupol. Now, talking heads talking about that, and that's where we need to start tonight, because I'm going to get us to another place where President Zelensky himself responds to the Mariupol trip. Not in words, but in deeds. I believe that's what Putin was saying yesterday in his statement to the world. So let's start with some talking heads, the propagandist, talking about Putin's trip to Mariupol. Note that when Biden came to Kyiv, there was information that Moscow had given security guarantees to Putin. Not just information, but the Americans said so themselves. You see, when Putin went to Mariupol, no one is asking for guarantees because it's our territory, it's our land. Oh, you're smoothly moving on and saying hello to our friends when you do that. This guy says, for Russia, in fundamental principle, it's our place. Forgive me, this is a literary phrase, but where Putin's foot has stepped, it's our territory. He has now stepped on new territories, Mariupol, and this is a guarantee that it's ours. Young man says, were there any doubts before that? You make it sound as if we worried about alienation. No, of course not. When did it happen? Yesterday. I've just never heard it said that way before, the foot, but I like it. But as for the external signal, first of all, everything is the same. Wherever Putin's foot has stepped, you can relax. And secondly, about The Hague and the ICC, what an idiotic verdict. What an idiotic statement. Now, this is our own agenda, and we will show the world that we will not stop in this war. We will continue until the very end. And this, Mariupol, being a clear indication that we will not stop until we win. Folks, that's the talking heads there. I was trying to share with everybody in the world that this trip, whether Putin or double, irrelevant, it makes a statement to the world right before Xi coming to visit in Moscow. And now they are running with it. Now, with that said, all of these meetings that have happened over the last couple of days, I can tell you right now that Russia is rolling in fresh equipment from the east. These are old World War II and 60s and 70s tanks, but they're loading them in coming from the east. This is footage out of that region today, seeing all these tanks coming toward Ukraine, and there are train loads and train loads of these tanks. Now, with that said, I think also tonight we need to pay attention to a guy named John Kirby. Here is a picture of John Kirby. John Kirby stating very clearly that we are fully expecting a massive Russian assault within the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. Of course, the image I'm showing you here is the front lines over from Kharkiv down through that Donetsk region over to Zaporizhzhia, ending up on the left by Kherson. All of those rectangles are the reinforcement of Russian troops there. on the front lines. Very interesting, that John Kirby says these things. Well, we're expecting it. We're expecting it. We've seen the meeting between Xi and Putin, and we're expecting this great offensive. We've been hearing that for months and months and months. Does that mean it can't happen? No. Do I think it's going to happen? Yeah, I actually do. I'm not sure it's going to be effective. That's going to depend on the amount of supplies that Ukraine is able to receive. I can tell you for a fact, the Ukrainian soldiers are better than the Russian soldiers. They're more skilled. They're more cohesive. They're better organized. And trust me, Ukraine has its own problems in organization and logistics and all of that, even on their side, but they are better than the Russian forces. So it comes down to equipment. It comes down to mobilization. How many sacrificial lambs will Putin send to the front lines? We're seeing that it could be, I don't want to use the word limitless, but a quite high number. And we see, even if it's old techniques coming in, last night we were talking about the Abrams, and, I know that we'll upgrade them. I was researching about that even more, but we're still 8 to 10 to 12 months out, even from the A1 series. That's what we talk about. Airplanes, jets, 2 or 3 here, a couple of Leopards, whatever. Tanks, whether junk or not, shells, whether junk or not, are flowing in to the Russian forces. So I'm sure that is a part of the reasoning there why Kirby was saying we're expecting it and it's coming. We shall see. I can tell you this, over the last 24 hours, Ukraine has been doing an amazing job ripping their drones into occupied territories. They have struck some missile supplies. They have also hit Sevastopol this morning. Now, that triggered a massive response from Russia, but I've got some video here from this morning, security footage. I'll roll it right now for you. Over on the right, you can see the outgoing air defense going off as the drones are coming in. This is a picture of the coastline of Sevastopol, which is in Crimea. And in just a moment, you're going to see an explosion as one of the drones actually hit right there. They made contact in Crimea, took out a target. This is what's happening. Ukraine is striking. They're getting better. They are having the ability now to create their own drones. Okay, Starlink, you're not going to work with us. We'll figure out our own way. We're defending our sovereign territory. Okay, Iran, you're going to supply drones. China, you're going to supply maybe. Okay, we'll just build our own. And that's what Ukraine is doing. Maybe you knew that. Maybe you did not know that. But Ukraine is building, testing, and using their own drones. Folks, think about this. If you were defending your home, forget your country, your homeland. Just take your home, your family. If you were defending it from an invader, how aggressive would you be? I can tell you, for me personally, don't come in my house. I know I'm a Christian and we're supposed to be good and helpful and caring and generous, and don't come in my house, because you're going to see Jesus overturning the money changers' tables and getting a little aggressive. So think about a nation. So Ukraine is having to do their own thing to protect their land. And they're pushing hard for their drone project. We are seeing this end time. I believe the end times. How can the world continue? Forget any other spiritual views, biblical views. Put all that aside right now. Our world is in major trouble. Just practically looking at it. Just look at it logically. In major trouble. Now, you've seen the strikes there. In Sevastopol, Crimea, Russia responded. I told you last night on the stream that it was looking like Russia was going to be hitting Zaporizhzhia. Of course, that was before the strikes. They were flying drones over and they were preparing. You see, when these massive missile attacks come, they do not just happen. Maybe Maybe it'd help if I explain it to you tonight. Russia starts running airplanes in the air, MiGs or Tupolovs, and they start setting off the alarm signals. Then they'll land them. Then they put them up, put them down. They'll put up a plane that's carrying a Kinjal hypersonic missile, take it down. They get these air alarms going on and off, and then the mopeds or the drones start flying through the air very slow, and they're hunting for locations where Russia can exploit a weakness from the air defense in Ukrainian territory. Once they find it, if they feel suitable, then they launch the cruise missiles. That's what happened. And this one, of course, I believe was in response to Ukraine having some success there in Sevastopol, and Zaporizhzhia was hit. I'm going to show you a video of the missile strike. When I show you this, I'm going to talk over top of it because there's no audio, but you're going to be seeing security cam footage of a strike this morning in Zaporizhzhia from a missile. Many wounded, many have lost their lives. But in the foreground, you're going to see a name of a mall. It's called City Mall. How close were Zelynskyy and I to all of these things that are happening? Well, very close. And I'm going to explain it to you tonight, especially when I get to the Zelynskyy portion in just a moment. But City Mall, Zelynskyy and I were actually in this mall. I know exactly this building that was hit. I know exactly the road, the exact location. It was and is Zaporizhzhia. And here is some security footage of that strike. So you see the City Mall there, and the building struck behind it. I mean, daylight, people out trying to do business, maybe go to the store, and boom. I just can't imagine up close the shockwaves and the impact. A lot of devastation here, and folks, whether you want to hear it or not, it's terrorism. Terrorism. I promise you tonight, military was not in those buildings. I know for a fact how the military sets themselves up. I can't share it with you, but I'm telling you, Ukrainian military are not in those buildings. If they use any building, they clear the buildings completely. I know for a fact how they do this. So there you have the terrorism that is in Zaporizhzhia. Now, I want to bring it back to Zelynskyy as we close out the update tonight. Let's go back in time. Putin went to Mariupol. Whether it was a body double or not, irrelevant. Putin went to Mariupol. She comes to Moscow. Japanese Prime Minister comes to Kyiv. Now, I showed you the talking heads early, right in the stream. Well, Putin put his foot on Mariupol. That's our land. You do realize, folks, they were making a reference to the biblical book of Joshua, where the angel of the Lord told Joshua that wherever you place your foot, it is your territory. That's the reference they're making. Don't miss it. They're trying to make a biblical reference of this, a spiritual reference. Wherever we set our foot, it's our territory. Well, today, Mr. Zelynskyy responded. No big warning. No huge parade. He just shows up. He showed up in two places, and I'm going to show two different video clips. He showed up in a support area for Bakhmut. No, President Zelensky was not in Bakhmut. You may see that on a headline or something. He was not in Bakhmut, but he was right there beside it in a support area, supporting the troops and giving out awards. I'm going to show you that video in just a moment. But prior to that, he was in a gas station hanging out with people and with soldiers. Now, I'm going to tell you, I can't tell you exactly where this is, but I know it. But I will give you a circle, a radius. if you look at the map and you see this area here, let me do this. You see this area right here, of course, Donetsk. And this is always an area that we watch very closely, and that is Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Druzhkivka, and Chasiv Yar, and of course, Konstantinivka. This whole region. Now, this is a very large, connected area of little towns and cities, very industrial. Of course, they're all closed down and factories, but this is the region just off the M3 highway. And of course, here would be Bakhmut. So President Zelensky today was in this area, which is all support for the Bakhmut battle, where Ukraine is trying to hold on. But you're going to see, and I'm going to show you now, President Zelensky just stopped with his team, walked into a gas station as a normal person, buying a cup of coffee, taking photos, selfies, shaking hands. Now, the gas station that he is in, right in this area, that's all I'm going to tell you. But I'm here to tell you, I know the exact location of the gas station. I know the gas station. I have many times been in that same gas station. It's a very important gas station that supports that Bakhmut area where soldiers can come and get a coffee, grab a slice of pizza, where they're trying to hang on. You're going to see some of the video where you'll see the windows boarded up with plywood and different things. Some of the employees that are serving, I know them. I remember them. I know the exact gas station. I've ate many a hot dog in there. Why am I telling you that? Because I want the world to know that it really was President Zelensky, and he really was that close. This is not a setup. This is not some green screen. This is not in Kyiv, and they made it look like out here towards Bakhmut. I'm telling you, firsthand witness, Zelensky was here. And he was just being a normal person. Here it is. I remember that boy working. Now, where was Zelensky looking at right there? They always have a little stand where they have Ukrainian flags and stickers. And you're just looking at them. Let's take some selfies with the soldiers. Zhenya, if you're watching this tonight, you know exactly where this is at. See the boxes all stacked up there? They were all stacked up. That's how they supply. He's over at the coffee machine. Soldiers are smiling. Handshakes. You know, I guess. Oh yeah, the girl on the right. The girl on the right. She served me, myself, hot dogs and Cokes. He's outside now. That's what you do. See the boards over the gas station. We know this gas station. Taking his pictures. Just walking up, did you hear what he called him? He called him Vova. He did not call him Mr. President. He didn't call him Vladimir. He called him by his nickname, Vova. Can we get a picture? Will you shake my hand? Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. He's a good man. He's a good president. He's a good leader. Yes, he had his entourage with him, but he didn't have bulletproof vest on. He didn't have a helmet on. And I'm here to tell you that exact gas station is so close to the Russian positions. It's not in Bakhmut, but it's close. Shelling, artillery, drone, everything is able to hit that gas station. Everything. Not just missiles and airplanes. Every piece of equipment. And he's there. He's there being a friend and being a leader. So tonight, guys, that's where I want to leave it. This war going from step to step. Now, once he did leave there, he actually went and made a surprise visit to Kharkiv as well and awarded the city hero city status. So that's what President Zelensky was doing. And by the way, Kharkiv, at its closest point, about 8 miles from the Russian border, not Russian position, Russian border. This is a good man, a good leader. And, you know, we're here to educate. We're here to support. We're here to raise funds. And you see what we do. Please hit the links in the description. Donate some money. Buy some gear. Join the Patreon. It helps with all the translations. Just be a part. Do your part. We'll do our part. But, you know, if you hear people talking to you and saying, you know what, that Zelensky, he's the Antichrist, or he's evil. He's horrible. He's set up. It's a joke. Bring them to day 392 and show them the last 3 minutes of this video. That's a real leader. And I support him 100%. And I'm thanking you for being here and supporting him and the truth in Ukraine. There is a massive war there, not only with Russia, but against corruption and propaganda. President Zelensky is doing a good job to stand against it. So, my friends, we thank you for that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to support and do all that you do. May the Lord bless you and keep you tonight. Cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, and give you peace. Now, I'm leaving very early in the morning on a flight. I've got 3 flights tomorrow. I'll be heading to Western Mexico out of Pennsylvania. And yes, we will have a stream and an update tomorrow night for you. But I am traveling all day. So thank you. Be blessed. We'll see you in 23 hours. Good night.